Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. The opioid epidemic affects people in many different ways, from those using to their families. May is National Mental Health Awareness Month. WYNT's Macy Marie talked to a children's therapist about how addiction takes a toll on the mental health of children across Appalachia.
This room inside primary care centers of Eastern Kentucky is filled with toys and activities for children.
It's a way that kids can come in and communicate in session through their play.
But the purpose of this area is not always to bring out smiles. Sometimes these toys are a way for children to cope.
So many childhood experiences increases your risk of different things, and it's things like heart disease and life expectancy.
Jill Martin is a children's therapist. She says kids in Eastern Kentucky are at a high risk of abuse or having a parent who is addicted to opioids.
You can't go anywhere and not deal with addiction. It is an epidemic, especially in our community.
And growing up with these problems can lead to both mental and physical health issues down the line.
You're more likely to become addicted.
Martin says addiction, anxiety, and depression are sometimes rooted in childhood.
They'll often tell me like the very first time that they used was with a parent, and it's like when they're really young, like in childhood will be the very first time that they used.
Hoping spreading awareness can save young lives. In Perry County, Macy Marie, WYMT Mountain News.
You can report child neglect or abuse in Kentucky by calling 877-597-2331. A cardiologist convicted of performing unnecessary heart procedures was sentenced Thursday to 5 years in prison. Dr. Richard E. Paulus must also pay more than $1 million in restitution. Paulus was convicted of performing unnecessary heart procedures and falsifying records to make the procedures appear necessary before billing insurers. His conviction was initially overturned before an appeals court ruled last June to overturn a judge's acquittal of Paulus. Tomorrow, family and friends will say a final goodbye to a little Pike County boy. Keegan Ryan Music died in an ATV crash Sunday. His funeral is Saturday at noon. Services are being held at Pilgrim's Home Old Regular Baptist Church in Grethel. He was only 6 years old. A legal fight in Kentucky over subpoenas sent to school districts as part of an investigation into teachers' sick-outs has expanded to include which court should hear the case. State Labor Cabinet attorneys filed a notice of removal to have the case shifted to federal court. Attorney General Andy Beshear's office says it will contest the filing, arguing the case belongs in state court. He wants to block the subpoenas issued by Governor Matt Bevin's administration. The primary election is less than 3 weeks away, and starting today, you can vote in person absentee at every Kentucky county. There are some requirements to vote this way, though, and here are a few. You'll have to be out of the county on Election Day, a student living outside the county temporarily, or have a surgery scheduled that would have you in the hospital on Election Day. In-person absentee voting ends May 20th, the day before the primary.
And of course, we're seeing those showers and storms popping up across the area. Good news is none of them are severe, just a few strong ones at times. You'll notice as we take a look at the Whitesburg cam looking into downtown Whitesburg, already starting to look a little bit gloomy over there, and that's because rain is starting to move into that area. You'll notice that line has kind of become a little bit more disorganized. We're seeing rain, or really heavy rain, moving into southern Clay County and even southern Knox County, moving into Bell County. And you'll notice over the past hour, it's moving at a slow pace, but they are moving through the area. You'll notice those showers even down into southern Perry County. We'll go ahead and zoom in on those storms that are moving into the Inez, moving out of Prestonsburg, out of Painesville as well, moving into the Inez and even parts of northern Pike County. Then we'll focus on that one down, moving into parts of Harlan County now, moving out of Knox County, and we're even seeing those showers in southern Perry County. Those will be moving probably into Letcher County here in the next few minutes. Those temperatures, though, into those low to mid 70s. little bit cooler where we've seen that rain move through for today. I think this will give us a break after this, but we see more showers as we head into your Saturday. I'll have that full forecast coming up for you guys in just a few short minutes. Steve.
All right, thank you, Paige. Kentucky Derby 145 is almost here. The Run for the Roses will take place tomorrow evening. With Omaha Beach out of the race, trainer Bob Baffert has 3 horses who are likely bets to cross the finish line first. Sports Director Marcus Browning has more on some of the top horses going into tomorrow's big race. Marcus.
Yeah, Steve, when the day started this morning, Bob Baffert's game winner was the favorite to wear the roses come tomorrow night with 5-1 morning line odds. That, of course, has since changed, not falling by much. Game winner now sits at 6-1 odds and is no longer the favorite. Sitting behind fellow Bob Baffert trained horse Improbable, who is the current favorite at 9-2 odds, as well as Maximum Security and Tacitus, who are at 5-1 odds. Regardless of what the odds say, Bob Baffert likes game winner and knows what kind of effort he will give.
He's sort of like a Silver Charm type horse, you know, where he wants to just be in the pace, and he's had these really wide trips, and hopefully you know, he can't win the Derby like that. So, but I think we're in a position now where he can just put him in a good spot. And you know he's going to give it to you at the end. You know, and he'll go 1.25 miles.
Earlier this afternoon, according to KentuckyDerby.com, over $68,000 have been bet on Improbable, with game winners' wagers sitting at just shy of $56,000. I'll have more on the Derby and a last-minute jockey change coming up here in just a few minutes in sports. Steve.
All right, Marcus, thank you. We are a little more than a half an hour away from the 145th running of the Kentucky Oaks. But hours before the fillies rush out of the gate, Churchill Downs opens the track for a really special moment. Amber Philpott joins us now to tell us all about it.
This time of year is pretty special around Timbertown Stable in Fayette County.
It's fun to see the new babies every morning when we come in.
The pastures here are full of foals that might just be the next racing legends.
Is you dirty?
As farm coordinator, Jackie Casey's mind is always on the breeding and foaling of mares. Horses in the last year have been a welcome distraction.
It was something I found in the shower. And at first I thought, okay, it's nothing. It was about the size of a gumball.
Despite knowing breast cancer ran in her family, she never dreamed it would be her. Last year, a mammogram revealed the 38-year-old had stage 2 highly aggressive breast cancer.
Your mind just kind of goes into fight mode, or mine did. And it was like, okay, tell me the next steps.
She underwent a double mastectomy, long days of chemo, and would lose her hair. But through it all, she had the support of her friends and family.
My husband was instrumental in helping me through the whole thing. He was so great about helping our 5-year-old with, you know, Mommy's beautiful.
Her horse community was there too, and she felt their love the last few months as they helped to nominate her for an Oaks Day tradition. She'll be one of 145 breast and ovarian cancer survivors to walk the track.
It's going to be a chance for my husband and I to look at each other and say, we did this together, and we're okay.
She is. She's cancer-free, but not worry-free.
It's always there in the back of my mind, you know, is it going to come back? But I'm trying to move forward.
Jackie Casey is like those new foals she sees every day, full of life and new beginnings.
That was Amber Philpott reporting. Well, straight ahead at 6, we will take you to some place that some believe kick-started horse racing as we know it. Well, it's also a big weekend for thousands of students who are graduating from UK today. This year's graduating class is so large, UK is hosting ceremonies both today and Sunday. The first ceremony was held at 10 this morning, and a second group walked across the stage at around 2 this afternoon. Could printing presses be repurposed to make solar panels? Researchers at the University of Louisville got a $1 million grant to answer that question. The university says the goal is to reduce the cost of producing solar panels. The grant comes from the U.S. Department of Energy. The project will focus on thin film solar cell production using a roll-to-roll platform, the same used to print newspapers. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, the unemployment rate falls to the lowest level in decades. We'll tell you which industries enjoy the most job growth.
And if you have plans for the Derby tomorrow, maybe you're deciding to grill out. A little bit of bad news for you. Not looking like the best here in Eastern Kentucky. But what about that Derby forecast if you're headed to Louisville? Have that coming up in just a few short minutes.
An iconic Hazard business is closing its doors after more than half a century of business. I'll have the details coming up.